James St Patrick, or better known as Ghost, he's one character that the Power fans still can't let go of. Of course, there's a good reason as to why they can't let go of Ghost, because he is majority of the fans' favourite. He recently did a podcast interview with The Ringer and he spoke about Power and a potential return. So I'm going to run through what Omari Hardwick said and what it means for the Power universe and how it could impact on the spin-off series. So let's roll the intro and then talk all things Ghost. So no matter where Omari Hardwick goes now, what movie he does, what TV show he now joins, the name Ghost, the name James St Patrick will always follow him. And this video isn't a theory of whether Ghost is alive or not. We're talking straight facts from the interview, what he said, what it could mean, could we actually see him return, and if we do, in what form could we see him return? Because that's an important word, what form could we see Ghost return in, if he was to return, because I've said before, I would love to see him in hallucinations for both Tariq and Tommy. But I'm going to get into all of that with what was discussed in the interview, which I've put a link to it down below in the description and in the comment section. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Universe related. But let's talk about why Ghost's story is not finished, because this is one of the main points that he raised when he was doing this interview. He felt as if his story is not finished. There was a lot to be told, and not necessarily with Tasha, Tariq or Tommy, but Ghost from the past, the man who was actually behind Ghost before he became Ghost. Because at the beginning of Power Season 1, we met Ghost, we met James St Patrick, but we never really got to see his life before, what he was before, and how he basically became this character Ghost. We had stories such as the one with him and Tasha setting up Kanan to go to prison, telling Tasha to hide his gun under her dress while she was pregnant with the twins, and him killing Breeze. So we've heard stories, but we've never actually got to see anything in the form of flashbacks. And he also mentioned his relationship with Kanan. What did it smell like when they were teenagers? Those were the words of Omari Hardwick. What did Ghost and his father do when his mother left them? So yes, we've seen the fully evolved James St Patrick as Ghost, who was this ultimate chess player on Power, but did we really know him? Omari Hardwick said he played Ghost, and even though he played his character, he feels as if he didn't know him fully because he never really got to activate those parts in his prior life which would have completed his character. And with the spin-offs, those are the characters who are activating their parts, such as Cooper Saxe, and I dived deeper into Cooper Saxe's background in my video yesterday, and he's one character who's now activating some of his past in Power Book 2 Ghost. So activating parts of your past is something actually I mentioned before. I know Courtney Kemp said previously that she's not a fan of flashbacks. She would use things that have happened before in the show as flashbacks, but not previous events. Personally, I love flashbacks, and it's just my personal preference because an episode or two where we could learn about Ghost who's setting up Kanan, or asking Tasha to put the gun under her dress, or watching him get his first kill could have given us a different perspective on his character. It could have given us the knowledge of, oh okay, now I understand why he's so confident, now I understand why Ghost looks in the mirror constantly, now I realize why Ghost did some of the things he did. I would have loved to have seen a few flashbacks. And it's true, Ghost story is not complete yet, and this is where they're completing it now through Tariq St Patrick. Everything we're now seeing being played out through Tariq and Power Ghost, hence the name Power Book 2 Ghost. So just rewinding back to what I said about Omari Hardwick saying what was Ghost like when his mother left him. Well, what's happened to Tariq St Patrick at the end of Season 1 of Ghost? His mother has effectively left him and gone into WITSEC. So now as we move into Season 2 Power Book 2 Ghost, we're going to see the part of Tariq's life and how he's going to be without his mother. Omari Hardwick said his relationship with Kanan. What did it smell like? Well, we saw Kanan teaching Tariq the way of the streets in Season 5, and also the main key storyline of Tariq pulling the exact same maneuver of setting up Kanan just like Tasha and Ghost did all those years ago. So they're activating Ghost's past, but instead of showing it under another character as playing James St Patrick or Ghost, we're seeing Ghost being born through Tariq St Patrick. And we have to remember we were introduced to Ghost at the age of 40 odd. I haven't looked up what age exactly he was, but I believe he was around 40. Tariq St Patrick has only just turned 18, so is he Ghost? Of course he's not, but will he become another version of Ghost as time goes on? I believe so, because Joseph Sikora said he doesn't believe there's just one Ghost. There are many other versions of Ghost, and Tariq St Patrick being one of them. Tariq learned a lot from Ghost, knowing who to trust, thinking ahead, finding a better way of just about doing anything. And over the course of Power Book 2 Ghost, we'll see more events play out which will activate Ghost's past life and what Ghost had to go through. And one of the things I fully expect to see Tariq do is how Ghost had to kill Breeze. Sooner or later in a few years down the line, in a couple of seasons, Tariq will probably have to do the same thing if he wants to get to where he wants to, and that's probably maybe killing Monet, for example. And Ghost had to turn Kanan into the police. We had Tasha tell Tariq in Season 6 episode 15 that sometimes you have to turn someone in to get them out of your way. We could very well see Tariq doing something similar to Kane, for example, because Monet has made it very clear that she won't have Tariq kill Kane. So maybe at some point he has to get him out of the way, and that's to set him up. It may not go down that way or necessarily with those characters, but those are just a few examples of what Tariq may have to do, which is a past life of Ghost which is now being activated that we haven't seen yet. So going back to the initial statement, why Ghost's story is not finished. finished, because it's not, because we're now seeing it being played through Tariq St Patrick instead. But it doesn't necessarily mean Omari Hardwick won't return, because he did tease a return, but just in the form of hallucinations. Omari Hardwick said that James St Patrick's name is Ghost, so maybe he could just be that, just live in a ghost space at the moment, and maybe we could see a flashback, or if he was to return to any of the spin-offs, just to give leverage to the show, have them talking to Tariq, but he's not actually there, have him in Tommy's head, but is he really there? And what I think he meant by this is we're going to see this in the form of many flashbacks and hallucinations. And I've said it before, seeing hallucinations of Ghost is something I do expect to see in the future. It may not be in season 2 of Ghost, it may not be straight away in Power Book 4 Force, but similar to the way we saw hallucinations of both Angela and Kanan in Power, we could see Tariq having hallucinations of Ghost and Tommy having hallucinations of Ghost. So Omari Hardwick has definitely not ruled it out, but just as a ghost. So you'll find the interview down below in the description and in the comment section, and it's around minute 40 where I think he starts to talk about power. But there's something else that he spoke about before I finished this video, and that was Snowfall, Power and The Wire. Or should I say Snowfall, Power or The Wire? How do they rank? Which show is the best? And it's such a good question. Omari Hardwick said Power had a very dominant 4 seasons. Snowfall is very fascinating with the story that they've created, but he can't rank them in the same bracket with Power and The Wire, who are all tried and tribulated, because Snowfall hasn't technically finished yet, and he was just counting Power's original show, by the way, not any of the spin-offs. And he's right, you really can't rank Snowfall just yet, because it's still ongoing, it's not finished. They could do something completely extraordinary with the final season, which could make us think, wow, okay, it does top Power, or they could make a complete mess of it and it doesn't rank anywhere near Power and The Wire. He said what constantly delivered the best was The Wire. He said they edged Power by 1 season, so he ranked The Wire first, then Power, and then Snowfall. I'm not so sure, because when all is said and done with the Power universe, I don't think there's anything bigger or better. I don't think the Power universe will be touched in the terms of what it delivers to its fans, but I will need to rewatch The Wire because it's been a while since I have, and we can't rank Snowfall in there just yet until it finishes, because like I said, they could blow us away or they could completely do the opposite in season 5. And even though I don't really like comparing Snowfall to Power, because the two shows are completely different shows in terms of timeline, one is based on somewhat true events, and when Raising Kanan actually does start rolling, we will actually have something to compare it to. But drop me your guys' thoughts on where you would rank these 3 shows, Snowfall, Power and The Wire. I'm interested to know what you guys think, because I will do a video talking all things Power, Snowfall and The Wire. But the main thing is, don't forget to drop me your thoughts on Omari Hardwick's comments on Ghost, his thoughts on how we haven't quite tapped into Ghost's past, and do we really need to if we're seeing it being played through Tariq St Patrick, and flashbacks and hallucinations. Are you okay with Ghost returning just in the form of flashbacks and hallucinations? Drop me all your thoughts and comments on that too as well. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Universe related. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.
You may not be here no more, but ghosts never die.